Boldt is a national contractor. We specialize in complex projects, both institutional type projects, hospitals, laboratories, that sort of thing, as well as industrial projects, paper mills, power plants, those sorts of kinds of projects. The Charter Street Heating Plant project was essentially a conversion from a coal-fired heating plant, a central plant for a large university campus, to a gas-fired plant, which was making it much more environmentally friendly.
Boldt was bidding on the project to upgrade the Charter Street heating facility for UW-Madison. And they needed to show the installation of a boiler into the new facility. And this boiler is rather large, so it wasn't going to be an easy installation. They needed to move the boiler in, they needed to move it around the existing plant structure, and then get it inside the building all in one shot.
The project value was initially $250 million. It involved taking out some very old coal boilers and coal handling equipment and installing a series of very large gas boilers. These boilers were to be fabricated in Nebraska, shipped to Madison, and then very carefully taken off this massive shipping truck, turned and installed into the building. Traditionally, we would have presented a project like this on a series of boards, blueprints colored up and marked up, and tried to show what we were going to do in this sort of 2D hard copy sort of a process. This project, as big as it was and as complex as it was, really warranted looking at more of a 3D model and some moving graphics to show how we were going to make the work happen, how we were going to be successful.
The typical person learns to see in 3D as a child. We look and see 3D every day of our life. Seeing 2D is actually a learned skill. To take the 2D and project it into a form our brain understands requires years of training. When you go before a board, like they did with Wisconsin, the problem is these people haven't been trained to read 2D drawings. And as a result, if I just show them 2D drawings, they don't really understand what I'm saying. If I show them 3D, the brain immediately comprehends and takes more information in, and this generates more interest and more discussion.
Through the process of trying to show the customer how we were going to do this, we learned ourselves some of the issues that we were going to run into. We had a few surprises.
They provided us with 3D model of one building, and then they provided us with 2D drawings of everything else, so we had to create that. And as we went along, they switched, oh, the boiler's not coming in on a train car, now it's coming in on a truck. Here's a picture of the truck, we don't have a model. Here's the boiler, oh, we have to bring the boiler in on its side now, not upright, so we have to figure out a way of turning it. We want to pull it in here. Oh, we can't do that, there's pillars in the way.
We figured those out. We were able to go into the interview very confident in how we were going to solve those issues, and in fact be able to explain what those issues were, so that, quite frankly, the interview team could challenge our competitors to see if they'd even thought about those things.
The animations are really broken into three main pieces. The first was a flyover from the top. We're going to take a look at the overall site, the arrangement of the site, and we're going to come down to street level and show how the site is protected to keep people from wandering into the site and protect them from debris or passage of materials. The second was a crane swing. We wanted to show where the overhead crane was going to swing so people knew that I've got a boom coming over my house, but they're not going to pass the load over my house. And the boom can only swing so far because we have a smokestack in the way. The third one was the actual installation of the boiler, and that was probably the most important of the three because it showed that we are going to be dealing with a very large problem here and how we're going to address that so that it goes as smoothly as possible with this little problem.
I think the audience was surprised to see their project come to life like that. I don't think many of them had seen it in that perspective before. I think it helped them understand the true complexity of the project and appreciate what we could bring to the table to help make it a reality for them. We were told that our presentation was one of the most informative of all of those that had presented, and there was definitely comments that we knew what we were getting into much more so than the other teams. I can't imagine doing this particular presentation without the 3D part of it. It would have been very difficult to convey what we were planning to do and how we were going to do it and instill the confidence that we're able to instill. I can't imagine trying to do it without the 3D.
The reason they come to us is partly because we know the software, but also because we understand engineering and architectural principles. We understand how machines work, we understand how they go together, we understand how buildings are built, we understand the functions of the components inside of here. So when they run into a problem, they can come to us as technical experts, not only in the software, but in how it's built and why it functions.
MasterGraphics has the kinds of people who can dive into a project on very short notice and turn out just an incredible product for us. They're flexible, they're collaborative. We really enjoyed working with them.
When Studio MGI engages with a client, we don't engage as an outside consultant. We like to consider ourselves more as a new department inside their company. We work with the various departments, we work hand in hand with them. It's a two-way relationship.
MasterGraphics is just, they're there when you need them. They have the experts, the capabilities, certainly the software and the hardware and all of those kinds of things to jump into a project like this and really just turn it around incredibly quickly for us. I don't think we'll ever go back to a purely 2D approach.